Welcome back. I'm going to get started on the roof and the sail panels on this Chevelle, get all the bondo work done, then I'll move on to this rear panel here. But for right now, I'm going to take this deck lid off. I've got the glass protected with cardboard. I've got plastic to seal everything else up. So let's get started with this deck lid. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take 80 grit on the DA and sand all this primer down in here. This seam was filled with, I'm not sure, Duraglass or Marglass or something, but it needs another coat in here. It doesn't show up on camera, but this aftermarket quarter, this side here is quite a bit higher than the roof. So it's going to have to be bridged up into here. I'm going to sand this down, put another layer of Duraglass in here, give it a good solid foundation. Then I can put bondo on top of it. I'm using Duraglass by USC, and I bought this on Amazon. Anything I can find that I'm using on Amazon, I'll put a link in the description. This is the short strand fiberglass. Seems to work on smaller areas a little better than the long strand. This stuff is prone to get pinholes in it. They'll show through on the bondo if you don't get them out of this base coat. Okay, while that Duraglass is drying, I'm going to take 80 grit on a DA on the roof wherever this black primer is. And it looked like a lot of stuff just been feathered out. I don't know if it was rust spots. On this Duraglass, I started with 36 grit on the roll-lock wheel just to get it roughed out, and took 80 grit on the DA, and then I blocked on it with 80 grit, and then run over it again with 80 grit on the DA, get it halfway smooth, and then I took the wire brush to it because I was saying this stuff is prone to pinholes, and I got pretty aggressive with it, trying to gouge in there as much as I could. If there's any pinholes, it would open them up. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, get my bondo on there. $80 grit on a DA to get this roughed out. I've got 80 grit on both these blocks. Okay, I've got a few pinholes in here. It's a little low right in this area. I'm going to fill this stuff in and the pinholes, and then I'll finish it all in 120, feather this back. It'll be done. Okay, this sail panel's done. Come out real nice. It's finished with 120. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, get that finished up, and then I'll feather out everything else on the roof, put some etch prime on it. Okay, sail panels are done. They come out real nice. I finished everything out with 220 on a DA, then put a light coat of etch prime on it. That'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching.